He's staring at a credit card statement. It's almost 11 at night. The house is quiet. His daughter's been asleep for hours. His wife turned in 30 minutes ago. And he's sitting on the couch, holding a piece of paper he opened 3 days ago, but couldn't bring himself to read until now. $718. That's what a birthday party cost him. One afternoon, one cake, one bounce house. One daughter who smiled so wide it made his chest hurt. And now, he doesn't know how he's going to make rent. He earns decent money. He pays his bills on time. He hasn't missed a due date in 6 years. So, why does it feel like everything is slipping? Here's the thing, almost no one talks about. It's not the big mistakes that break people financially. It's the small ones, the loving ones, the ones that feel impossible to say no to. By the end of this story, you'll understand how a single belief about love and money quietly unraveled this man's finances, and why it might be shaping yours too. 6 months earlier, things felt stable. He was 34, a warehouse supervisor at a distribution center on the east side of Columbus. He'd worked his way up over 8 years, forklift operator, shift lead, then supervisor. It wasn't glamorous, but it was steady. $3,400 a month after taxes, direct deposit every other Friday, like clockwork. His routine was tight but manageable. Rent on the first, utilities auto-paid, groceries on Saturdays. Not much left over, but not much stress either. He had one real financial strength: consistency. He didn't gamble, didn't drink much, didn't blow money on things he didn't need. Every dollar had a purpose, even if there weren't many to go around. But he had a weakness too. One he didn't think of as a weakness at all. He couldn't say no. Not to his wife, not to his mother-in-law, not to his daughter's hopeful face when she asked for something she'd seen a friend have. He'd grown up without much, watched his own father work double shifts just to keep the lights on. And somewhere deep down, he made a quiet promise to himself. When I have a family, I'll give them more than I ever got. That promise felt noble, like love. But promises made from pain don't always know when to stop. He believed something that felt true, but quietly worked against him. If I love my family, I should give them what they ask for, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Then came March. His daughter was turning 10, double digits, a milestone. At first it was just a conversation over dinner. "We should do something nice this year," his wife said. "Nothing extravagant. Maybe a party at home, family, a few friends." He agreed. That sounded reasonable. But the idea didn't stay small. Her mother mentioned a co-worker who rented a bounce house. His sister-in-law showed a photo from someone's backyard. Balloon arches, dessert tables, a custom banner with the birthday girl's face on it. "She deserves something like that," his wife said one night, scrolling through party ideas. "She's only 10 once." He looked at his daughter's bedroom door down the hall. She did deserve it. And if he had to stretch a little to make it happen. Wasn't that what fathers did? He didn't answer the question out loud, but his silence was already a yes. Have you ever agreed to something that felt generous in the moment, knowing somewhere in your gut that you couldn't quite afford it? The first purchases felt small: custom invitations, matching decorations, a professionally made cake. Each swipe came with a reason. Each reason sounded responsible. Then the bigger pieces followed. The bounce house rental, food for the guests, a new dress, because she couldn't wear last year's Easter outfit to her own party. Add in party favors, a few last-minute supplies, small things from different stores, on different days. None of it felt reckless. But 2 nights before the party, standing in the kitchen with receipts spread across the counter, the number stared back at him. Over $700, more than a fifth of his monthly income. For one Saturday afternoon. He told himself it would be fine. There was always overtime this time of year. There always had been. He didn't realize how much he was counting on that. Until it was gone. The party came. The backyard looked incredible. Kids screaming on the bounce house. Paper streamers catching the afternoon light. His mother-in-law nodding with approval. And his daughter. Her smile was so wide it made his chest hurt in the best way. For 3 hours, he forgot about the receipts. For one afternoon, he felt like he'd done it. He'd given his family something beautiful. But the feeling didn't last. 2 weeks later, the credit card statement arrived. He expected the party charges. What he didn't expect was how little room was left. Because it wasn't just the party, it was the dinners out before that, the impulse toys, the gift that cost more than he planned. Every purchase made sense alone. Stacked together, they told a different story. Then came the phone call. His shift manager pulled him aside. Orders were down. Overtime was being cut across all departments until further notice. His stomach dropped. The extra $400 a month he assumed would always be there vanished. Now he was staring at the same rent, the same bills, the same credit card balance, with $300 fewer to work with. The math no longer worked. He sat in his truck for 10 minutes after his shift ended. For the first time in years, he didn't know how he was going to make it to the next paycheck. That night, he couldn't sleep. He replayed every purchase, every yes, every swipe he'd justified and forgotten. And slowly, something uncomfortable came into focus. He hadn't been generous. He'd been afraid. Afraid of disappointing his wife. Afraid his daughter would feel less than her friends. Afraid of looking like he couldn't provide. And in that fear, he'd quietly given away the one thing his family actually needed from him: stability. He wasn't broke because he earned too little. He was broke because every dollar he made was already promised to someone else's expectation. There was no margin, no buffer, no room to breathe. The truth settled in quietly, heavy but clear. Love isn't measured by what you spend. The greatest gift he could give his family wasn't a bounce house or a custom cake. It was a life that didn't collapse when something small went wrong. The next morning, he sat his wife down before their daughter woke up. And for the first time, he told the whole truth. Not just about the credit card, about the fear, the pressure, the yeses he gave because he didn't know how to say no. She didn't yell. She cried a little. Then she said something that surprised him. "I didn't know," she said. "You never told me it was this tight." They talked, really talked, not about what they wanted, but about what they could actually afford. It wasn't easy. In May, his daughter asked for something her friends had. And for the first time, he said, "Not right now, sweetheart." That one hurt. He almost took it back. But he didn't. And that small no felt heavier than any overtime shift he'd ever worked. Slowly, things changed. He set up a small automatic transfer, $50 a month, into an account labeled Celebrations. Not much, but enough to stop borrowing from the future. He stopped answering requests immediately just to avoid discomfort. He started saying, "Let me think about it," and actually thinking. Then something unexpected happened. He realized his daughter hadn't loved the party because it was expensive. She loved it because her family was there, because she felt seen. She wouldn't have loved it less with a homemade cake. He'd been the one who needed the bounce house, not her. So, here's the question. When someone you love asks for something, are you saying yes because it's right, or because you're afraid of what no says about you? How many of the things you bought this year were really for them? And how many were to quiet something inside yourself? If you've ever stared at a credit card balance and wondered how it got this bad, you already know the answer. This channel exists for stories like this. The quiet money patterns that shape our lives, and the small shifts that give people their footing back.